And greetings, angels. We are having a power fire training here at the facility. Very grateful for all my Hollywood stars and angels and archangels, and hopefully by this Easter we will have everybody seeing the realization roaring Hollywood with wings Boulevard. Love you all, my fashionistas. Hezekiah keeps the Passover, and Hezekiah sent to all Israel and Judah, as well as Venice Beach. And also wrote letters to Ephraim and Manasseh that they should come to the house of the Lord at Jerusalem to keep the Passover to the leaders, and all the assembly in Jerusalem had agreed to keep the Passover in the second month full. They could not keep it at the regular time because a sufficient number of priests had not consecrated themselves, nor had the people gathered themselves, nor had the people gathered together at Jerusalem, and the matter pleased the king in all of the assembly. So, they resolved to make a proclamation throughout all Israel from Beersheba to Dan that they should come to keep the Passover to Aurora of Israel at Tiberias, since they had not done it for a long time in the prescribed manner. Then the runners went through all Israel and Tiberias with the letters from the king and his leaders, and spoke according to the command of the king. Children of Israel, return to the Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. Then he will return to the remnant of you who have escaped from the land of the kings of Assyria. And do not be like your fathers or your brethren who trespassed against the goddess Aurora of their fathers and mothers, so that she gave them up to desolation. As you see, disinherited my items and disowned. That the fierceness of my wrath may turn away from you, for if you turn to the Lord, your brethren and your children will be treated with compassion by those who lead them captive, so that they may come back to this land. For the Lord, your goddess, is gracious and merciful, and you will not turn her face from you if you return to her. So the runners passed from city to city through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh as far as Zebulun, but they laughed at them and mocked them. Nevertheless, some from Asher, Manasseh, and Zebulun humbled themselves, came to Tiberias, and also the hand of goddess was on Judah, to give them singleness of heart to obey the command of the goddess and the leaders at the word of goddess Aurora, Diamond, Rainbow, Morning Star. Now, many people, a very great assembly, gathered at Jerusalem to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the second month. They arose and took away the altars that were in Jerusalem, and they took away all the incense altars and cast them into the brook Kidron. Then they slaughtered the Passover lambs on the 14th day of the second and the 14th day month. The priests and the Levites were ashamed and sanctified themselves and brought the burnt offerings to the house of the Lord. They stood in their place according to their custom, according the law of Moses, the man of God. The priests sprinkled the blood received from the hand of the Levites. 4 there from the hand of the Levites. 3 were many for the assembly that had not sanctified themselves. Therefore, the Levites had changed the slaughter of the Passover lambs for everyone who was not clean, to sanctify them to goddess. For a multitude of the people, many from Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun, had not cleansed themselves, yet they ate the Passover contrary to what was written. But Hezekiah prayed for them, saying, may the good goddess provide atonement for everyone, atonement. Who prepare your hearts to seek me, goddess Aurora of your mothers. Through me, you cannot be cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary. It's about the transcript and the lights. You gotta book your sessions, now that your ego minds, everybody. And Goddess listened to Hezekiah, healed who may. So the children of Israel who were present of Jerusalem kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with great gladness. Then the Levite and the priest praised the Lord day by day, singing to me. And Hezekiah gave encouragement to all the Levites who taught the good knowledge of Aurora. And they ate throughout the feast 7 days of peace offering, and making confession to the Lord, Aurora to their fathers. Then the whole assembly agreed to keep the feast another 7 days, and they kept it another 7 days with gladness. For Hezekiah, king of Judah, gave to the assembly 1,000 bulls and 7,000 sheep, and the leaders and 10,000 and 1,000 bulls and 10,000 goats. Good night, Miami. How are you, everyone? Love my church in Miami. Love my church Hollywood. Love my church in Dallas. All my churches, I love you, everybody. We are here at the gym that came from Israel. Sojourners who came from the land of Israel and those who dwelt in Judah. So there was great joy in Jerusalem, for since the time of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, there had been nothing like this in Jerusalem. Then the priest, the Levite, arose and blessed the people, and their voice was heard, and their prayer come up to the holy dwelling place to heaven.